policy and social change for the better. Be a part of the conversation by calling 1-869-469-7953 or 1-869-765-7312. You can also WhatsApp call 1-869-669-7312. And don't forget our Magic Jack number 917-460-2187. Every Friday at 7 a.m. we bring you out of the shadows and into the light. Sponsored by Eureka Health Services in collaboration with 2020 Vision Radio.
Are you concerned about your health? Come on, everyone should be. The old people say that who don't pay a doctor will pay a pastor, or someone will for you. So before it reaches to that stage, come on in and visit Eureka Health Services in Ramsbury. Dr. Liebert and his associates at Eureka will take excellent care of you. They're friendly, experienced, and professional. So call them at 1-869-469-0521 or 1-869-662-5187. And for more information, just visit their website at www.eurekahealthservices.com. At Eureka Health Services, patients are our #1 priority.
Okay, a pleasant good morning to one and all, and we are here at 2020 Vision Radio for another edition of Out of the Shadows and Into the Light. With me today in the studio we have Wen, Bonnell, and Paulette, and we will start by a word of prayer. Wen?
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Laird. Morning, Bonnell. Morning, Paulette. Morning, everyone. Welcome. Father, we thank you for your goodness and your mercy to us. Thank you for traveling mercies. Thank you for the blessing of a brand new day. We ask, Lord, for your blessing on all our efforts today as we serve you, as we do our best to reach out and use our talents and abilities to touch the lives of persons in our community. We pray, Lord, that you will help us and that your presence will surround us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So, good morning again, guys and girls. Good morning, and to all our listening audience there on 102.1 FM, and streaming live via Facebook, onto Twitch and YouTube, and on the internet, 2020visionradio.com. And so, we are here every week promoting disability rights and greater support for persons with disabilities so that they can be transitioned from a life of stigma, discrimination, dependency, from the lockdown spaces and get them out into the light, as the program says, out of the shadows and into the light. And so we in Nevis have established a group called Nevis Community-Based Rehabilitation Advocates. And we are making plans to occupy some community centers that the government has given us permission to use to start our day center program. We've been having discussions amongst ourselves, and last summer we had a 2-week camp to pilot the project, and now summer is upon us again, and some of those volunteers are asking another camp. Okay, so we have heard the cries and the pleas, and we had a meeting this week, guys. Can you all explain what went on in that meeting, or Paulette? Bonnell?
Ladies first.
Okay.
Yes, in that meeting,
Honey, copycat, put your mic the way mine is, and let's go.
in that meeting, we have decided to go ahead and start our the program, and as of Monday, God Spare Life, we will be going to sorry.
Your voice ain't wake up yet?
No.
Okay, so we'll be at the Congruent Community Center this Monday at 9, and we are endeavoring to kickstart, well, Albona will say softly, our day center program. And so if you're in the area of Cotton Ground, or you can get there, or you know someone that can get you there, you're interested in volunteering, or you're interested in being a part of the day center program, we'll be there on Monday at the Cotton Ground Community Center.
As of 9 o'clock?
9 a.m.
Okay, 9 a.m.
Yes, so the government has given us permission to occupy the space from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we are taking small steps on a long journey, and we're going to feel out the environment, how it will be to be there. And so, yes, we had a camp last year, but the camp was a high intensity project. We started with a low intensity and hope to grow.
Yes.
In steps, you know, small steps over a long journey. And so we're going to start small, but anyone in the community, anyone who been part of the conversation, you feel free to join us. We'll have to bring our own refreshments to start off with. We have not got funding to feed the multitude as yet. So we'll carry our own refreshments and hope to spend a good 6 hours there while we sit around the table and we spy out the space. We play some games, we chit chat, and we brainstorm and develop plans to see how
whoever comes.
Yes.
I'm not a good singer for sure, but I'm going to echo, reiterate the words of the songwriter that says, living by faith in Jesus alone.
You said you're not a good singer.
I'm not a good singer.
Well, say the words.
Well, who knows? He might bless somebody. But yes, we're living by faith, and so faith would have brought us one step closer to the reality of our day center that we have been working hard, dreaming for, and planning to, execute. We would be occupying our space over in the Cotton Ground area. And as you heard from our fellow colleagues, that we will be there from 9 in the morning. And I know some people, they wouldn't answer the call, yes, but they will show up. And so if you're there, or if you're listening to us this morning, we want you to find your way over to the Cotton Ground Community Center for 9. In terms of volunteering, or even if you want to contribute, like Dr. Libert says, we're doing it on a soft way. So if you're coming along and you could bring a bottle of water, that would be appreciated, that would be welcome, and then we go from there. We're just having that faith in God himself that he would provide all things, because he promises in his words that he'll take care of us, and he will meet and supply our every need. And so we're heading on out to the Cotton Ground Community Center to kickstart our day center. So
simply put, we'll be asking those who'll be making it on Monday to bring a snack with you, or if you can bring two, one for you and one for Burnell, or Burnell if you can bring one for you and one for Paulette, or Paulette if you can bring one for you and one for Dr. Lywood, or Dr. Lywood if you bring one for you and one for me. That's how we're going to work it, right?
The 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
2 fishes.
Will feed the multitude again.
Yes.
It's taking the step in faith.
But the important thing is to be there, and we believe that everything will work itself in place, having made the first step. Paulette?
Yes, we also have the use of the BATS Community Center.
Yeah, so we have 5 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are at Cotton Ground by permission. And Thursday and Friday, we are at BAT Community Center. And, it's up to us, but we'll have to share the space with other community stakeholders. And that was part of the agreement when we applied to use the space. And the government has told us, well, most time, not much happening during the daytime in those centers, so we could have it between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Right.
Monday to Friday. So 3 days in Cotton Ground and 2 days in Bath, Alberta Payne Community Center in Bath. And so that's our plan, and we have a draft schedule of how we could occupy the space. And, we're looking for persons who will come and fill in the time slots.
Yes, come and discuss with us what your contribution can be, how much time you can spend, and what resources or what you can share. We know we have a lot of skilled people in our community. Some are retired, some are still active and have different times that they can give of their time. Some people work in the morning, some people work in the night, etc., etc. You know yourself better than we do. So we're asking you to look into yourself, look into your schedule, and see how you can give back to the community by being a part of CBR Day Centers.
The whole idea is that the community is rising up to look after itself.
Yes.
That's the emphasis of community-based rehabilitation. It's a bottom-up grassroots movement where the community stakeholders are coming together and say, look, we have these problems and this is how we want to approach them, and we reaching out to help to get help from other interests, government, funders, etc. But the community is leading the process. And
not forgetting that we can do it together. Together,
yes,
everyone achieves more.
Yeah, but the fact is that the community, the grassroots personnel are leading the process because they are the ones who stand to benefit. They are the ones who have the pain, the problem, most of all, and they are saying, look, we are awake now, we want to move out of this lockdown space, this stigma, discrimination, and we understand our human rights because we have been told about the UN Convention, which makes provision for everyone to enjoy the full human rights. And so community stakeholders, especially among the persons with disabilities, are waking up around the world and saying, look, we shall not be left behind. And the global community have said by 2030 no one should be left behind. They should end poverty and all these negative situations. And so it is incumbent upon us to be aware of these mandates that the higher powers have given and that the community interests have their role to play, and through the CBR strategic approach, that can be achieved. That has been a well-researched program by the WHO agencies, ILO, UNESCO, the International Disability Development Corporation, and the World Bank. They have funded research over the last 40 years, since 1978 at Alma Ata, that community-based rehabilitation is a way to equalize opportunities and services for persons with disabilities. And so it has gone from a primarily health initiative to it's now called a multi-sectorial initiative. Health, education, social services, empowerment sector, livelihood sector. These are the 5 pillars of the CBR matrix, and coming together around the person with disabilities. So look, we are here to support you in whatever way you need under these pillars of the CBR matrix.
And of course, having embraced those pillars, we know that the first move is to make an effort to help yourself, and once you do that, then help is sure to come from other areas.
Yes, definitely. And so we're calling all out there who have a family member or you yourself are affected by a disability, you feel as if you've been shut aside, been pushed aside, been locked down, you've experiencing stigma, discrimination, that hope is on the way. And Navy CBR advocates.
Is loneliness a disability, Dr. Lywood?
Oh, yeah. it's a consequence. We are here to make a difference. And there are other groups around the Caribbean, that are aligned with the community-based rehabilitation agenda. So the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons, the Antigua and Barbuda Association of Persons with Disabilities, and many groups, Circle of Friends in Dominica,
yes,
and DPI,
Barbados,
North American Caribbean chapters, over the last 10 years, we have been going to the Caribbean promoting CBR. CBR is the way to go, and that message has sunken in and is beginning to bear fruit in the other Caribbean countries. And it kind of began here in Nevis with a little research we did back in 2011. And so it is incumbent on Nevis to be part of this Caribbean global initiative where CBR is alive and well in Nevis. Thankful to Eugenia Thompson, who came way back then and did the research, and Mr. Hugh Carnegie from Holland. When I reached out to him on an email platform called HIFA, Health Information for All, and he graciously said he could send students to Nevis to help me research what was going on. And the government has taken on board some of these ideas. This morning I saw my good friend Macefield Nisbet, who goes into people's home and give them exercise, those who have strokes and so on can't get out easily. He goes to the home, he have a team,
yes,
and that team was developed after our CBR meeting in 2013. The Ministry of Health listened to us and they said, well, people need support services, and so they created this team. And they're doing a wonderful job,
Yes, it is.
Yesterday I went to see a lady for social security purposes, and, she said, yes, Macefield comes to her home twice a week to give her exercise, And so
he's doing a great job.
Yes, there's a great need because Macefield and his team are swamped. They're swamped with requests for their services, And so there's a great need for more, and we need to maintain it, and that's where we need a day center where people can come out in a safe environment and continue their rehab process, whether it be physical rehab, psychosocial rehab, occupational rehab, whatever the case may be, speech therapy. All those are things that the center can offer, will be equipped to offer as time go by, but we're making a soft start. We have a letter from the government to say we could occupy cotton ground Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and back Thursday and Friday. And after months of hemming and hawing and deliberating, stepping out on Monday morning, 9 a.m., and the good thing is that every summer students come, to different employment, and I've been part of the summer job attachment program organized by the News Administration, where they send students in high school who are looking work experience, and so they volunteered last year at the camp, and they were keen to know another camp again this year, Dr. Liebert. I'm not sure yet, but something is happening. Just come along and we will organize. So those students are now allied to the office, and they are keen to help out, to help us get the center program up and running again. So God works in mysterious ways.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and then so for the next couple of weeks, we'll have those students on summer vacation helping to get the center program organized. But instead of 2 weeks, it will be every week, 52 weeks a year. But we have them for about 10 weeks for the summer vacation.
Yes, that's a good start.
So by the time the summer vacation is over, we'll have volunteers from the community who have time on their hand, who want to do more to help get the center program up and running.
One of the areas, Dr. Leonard, we would like to ask people to pay attention to and give assistance, if you can, is we're reaching out to our bus drivers. We haven't reached to you yet, but you're listening to us, you're aware of what's going on, you'd like to be a part of the conversation and be a part of giving back to your communities. We'll be very happy to have you on board. So we'll be coming and talking to you and see how we can fit each person in to this program. Dr. Lai, please don't forget to say good morning to our friends over in, what's the name of that African country?
Rwanda.
Yeah,
Hewlett and Hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morning, Hill. We passed your house this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, coming over the flats, I was pointing out to Burnell and Paulette where Hewlett grew up, And we used to ramp and play cricket and
on
games
flats.
on the flat, and forage in the bush, get mangoes and guineas and soursop, sugar apple.
Everything.
Dr. Lai, I have a serious question for you. How in the world did you all come up with the name Flats for that area?
Why, I don't know, that was before me.
Because I've never seen any place. I mean, if you want to understand the meaning of opposite Burnell, that's what the Flats was.
Really,
High up on a height.
really was a big open pasture land.
It was a big open space.
On a hilltop, yeah. So.
But like when you're playing cricket, Burnell, and you're feeling down at Longdead, you in the wicket, you can't see.
You can't see the
down the hill.
Yeah.
I remember that
And behind a rock.
That brought back memories to me when we were growing up over in the Canada Estate area, right in St. Kitts. We were like up and down. So the man who is down here, he could see what goes on
Up on the pitch.
Up on the pitch. You only hear the ball coming.
Those were good days.
Yes, and we enjoy a proper game of cricket.
Of course.
Yes, we enjoy. We had challenges between the villages. Conwy go to Keys come over to Conwy, we go over to Keyon, and if you look back on some of the spaces that we used then, you would be amazed to know, things was really happening for us.
Well, I remember when the Chickenstone, Beaumont, Cox road project was going on, and the waters around, they're flattening the flats.
Yeah. Yes,
It was amazing.
It's now a level playing field.
Yes, it's now beautiful grounds.
Really,
Beautiful.
St. John's Primary School, now called Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School.
Yes.
It's located in the same site.
Yes.
The community built a community center there. I was part of that group.
Yes.
The St. John's Community Improvement Club.
Mandela Community Center.
Yes, it's called the Mandela Community Center. But that is a group which I am proud to be being a founding member of. Back in 1978, or thereabout, the group was 77. The group was founded by a set of young men and women in the village who came together with some help from community development services. Mr. Orlando Sargent then was the community development officer, bless his memory, and he came to the village and brought us together at the old St. John School in Bompasha, and then the club went on, and we begin to occupy the space in the flat. We mark out a football, mark a netball field, put up some wax and the poles there, and we had a cricket field there. We used to roll the pitch, and then we had an egg farm.
We used to roll the pitch with a stone.
No, those iron rollers.
The ones you pull.
Yeah, and we had an egg farm there. One of the projects that the club.
Yes, I remember the egg farm was very thriving.
Yeah, but the highlight is the center that we build. We get funds from USAID. As a group of young men, we get funds from USAID way back then to build a center.
And the community rallied
around and built it from community labor and time and the weekends and so. And one of our flagship projects, which is still ongoing, the Good Friday kite flying competition in the flats.
Didn't you have some scholarships as well?
Yes, it used to give scholarships to people in the community, and they still have the quiz,
the
primary school quiz, which is sponsored by the credit union. So the SJCAC,
yes.
SJCAC is still going, but even though the club may not be meeting regularly, the old executive members still maintain the center and
and I dare say, Dr. Laud, if you don't want to say it yourself, that club has produced some really, really high-ranking persons for the community. Halstead Suti Byron, yourself, Hensley Daniel,
Colin
Tyrrell, Halstead Pemberton, Dwight Morton, etc. And the list goes on. Quite a few.
And that club used to give evening classes, people preparing people to do their GCE and CXO level exams who didn't make it in the formal school system, and
well, those are the men that I know, Dr. Lowell. Yeah. Could you give us the names of some of the ladies?
Yeah, Isabel Byron and
I know the grand soap all of that, right? David
and
Wilson.
My sister Tressetta, my niece Sergi and Merlin
Lyward, blessed memory.
Yeah, Merlin Huggins from
Huggins, right? Yes.
Merlin Lyward is a young person.
Almost the whole entire Bompasha, Colehill, Cox, Nevilla, Smithton, and Emerald, Morton, those Griffin girls.
Yes.
Among the Everton Griffins. So almost the whole community rallied around, from Church Ground to Pond Hill.
Yes.
In between, were part of the club, and we had some good concerts and things like that.
Indeed.
Remember one time you put on one of Bouncing Williams' play. It's only. I forget the name of the play, but anyway, I was the one who organized that play, from him, because I was working in St. Kitts before he came to Nevis, and knew Bouncing, and I asked him to give us permission to put on the play, and he gave me copies of and we did a good performance.
I remember the days when I was going to school, Dr. Lyward, that almost every schoolgirl was going by your mother's place for typing lessons.
Oh, yeah.
At Beach Road. You remember those days? And those days, it was walking, so sometimes we had to, follow them, help them with their books and so on, all the way to Beach Road to do the typing lessons and so on. Those were wonderful days.
Yes, wonderful. I mean,
and persons have really benefited.
In Nevis.
Yes, the typing with Ms. Lyward.
The basic secretarial training, they were learning how to format letters and things like that, and managing the keyboard before computers take over.
Yes.
Everybody now watching the keyboard and one or two finger typing. But you have to know the home keys, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, semicolon.
Oh, you're doing well, Dr. Lyward.
Well, I'm looking at the keyboard before me.
Oh, boy.
I did for myself, couldn't. Yeah, manage the keyboard.
Yes, and the community have produced some really, really wonderful persons, some young people, and well, I don't know if Dr. I was still calling himself a young person, but he's one of those persons that has his head up in the community and is reaching out and doing a lot to help the community, Dr. Lyward, and I am always. I know you want to shut me down, but I am controlling the mic this morning. Okay. I always want to let you know how much I appreciate you and the community appreciate all your efforts. You're a giving person. I don't know where you find the time, but you always have the time to listen, always have the time to contribute, and God has continued to replenish your resources so that you always find something and some way to give. Good morning, caller. You're on Out of the Shadows into the Light on 2020 Vision Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, caller.
Mr. Tweed.
Yes, Mr. Tweed. How are you doing?
All right, I was just having a little show just a while ago. What I really call to ask, Mr. Lyward.
Dr. Lyward.
Dr. Lyward, sorry.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
The play that you all put on for Clem Bouncing Williams, was it Bridge Without a Storm?
No, I think
Storm Without a Bridge?
it's once in a time or one.
Hello?
It is. I think it's once in a while or one.
Okay, but he had one named Bridge Without a Storm.
No, wasn't that?
That was the great one. I used to go to his place.
Yeah.
All right, man. I respect a lot of work that you do, you know. I need... No.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tweed. Mr. Tweed is a very constant listener out of the Monk Hill St. Peters area down there in St. Kitts. And we thank you for always listening, okay? Thank you so much for your... Thank you for your support, sir. Have a good day. All right.
But I think we have some folks online with us.
On Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could salute them.
Okay, sure. Let me just bring up the Facebook feed there. Yes, I mean, those were some great days. Okay, I see my good friend Mish Batwaite from Grenada. Good morning. He said, awesome. Congratulations, Dr. Leibel. Greetings from Grenada and Grenada Advocacy. Advocacy Grenada Inc. Yeah. Michelle Batwaite was on a program yesterday launching, they're having a conference in Grenada, the 9th to the 13th of October, called it's a disability conference organized by the Authentic Caribbean Foundation. So Michelle Batwaite is one of the key organizers on the ground there in Grenada, and they were launching a
The
media
breakfast
launch.
sounds like a Barbadian surname,
Yeah.
but that person is in Grenada.
So Michelle Batwaite will be in touch again, Michelle, and she was in. Well, when we had our CBR awareness activities, the first one was in Aruba in 2014 when we launched Caribbean CBR Network, and the second one was in Grenada, 2015, because we strategized to go around the Caribbean following CAFA. CAFA is the Caribbean Public Health Agency. This is where all the doctors, health researchers come together every year, have a big scientific meeting presenting their research papers. So we say, look, for CBR to get attention, let us piggyback with CAFA and have a side meeting alongside CAFA. So the first one was in Aruba, where Eugenia is from, and God works in our favor then. And she got the government of Aruba to give us money to put on that one-day meeting. And we begin to make linkages with the big wigs in CAFA, because they come and listening to our meeting, and we interact with them in the corridors, between sessions and so on. And then the following year we went to Grenada again and met Michelle Batwaite there and others in Grenada. I have Grenada connections, especially, so that was convenient as well. And in Grenada they say, hey, stop all this talk shop. You want a talk shop, you want a workshop, but you want to learn more about the CBR thing, And so then the following year, CAFA was in Turks and Caicos, and that's where we organized a 3-day workshop. Instead of a 1-day talk shop, we had a 3-day workshop, and that's when Mr. Bernard Warner came from Antigua and with his permanent secretary.
What's the name of the gentleman we spoke to the other day in Grenada, Dr. Ivan? Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No. I'm getting you. Anyway,
it's okay. He'll come to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jamal Philip. Yeah, Jamal Philip. Jamal also came to the Turks and Caicos, and he is visually impaired, blind. But he traveled all alone by himself, from Grenada to Miami to Turks and Caicos with all his gadgets to help him navigate to the airport, and it was amazing. And so he came, and we had a wonderful time in Turks and Caicos, and Bernard went back to Antigua, realizing that he was doing CBR all along, not knowing that there was a formal way of doing CBR. And Bernard has been a champion for CBR ever since. I mean, he's like he's now the face of CBR.
We have to say good morning to Mr. One over there in Antigua. He's quite an advocate for CBR, yes.
And when we introduced horticulture therapy as part of a CBR program, and the Antigua have taken off with it in a big way, And so, good morning, Bernard and team there in Antigua and Barbuda, and others. Corwin Phillips, Corwin Stumps there in Trinidad. He's the president of the Trinidad chapter of DPI International. He came to Antigua for the SIDS conference, and Michelle Batwaite was there as well, and we all linked up there, and we had some wonderful in-depth discussions and energizing of how we're going to move this agenda in the Caribbean to get persons with disabilities more into the mainstream, because we made a big impact on the organizers there and those who were in Antigua for the SIDS 4 conference. So,
while you're in that area, you can say good morning to Judy down there in Dominica.
Yeah, Judy Sango. She's president of the Dominica Association of Disabled Persons. I think she's the youngest person to hold that office of president of that association, that organization.
And she's very active.
Yeah, and Judy had just published a book, right? Yeah. The girl who walked differently or something to that effect, So you could search on Amazon and hope to get a copy of her book.
If you could come back a little closer home, Dr. Liban, the folks, if I may, the folks over on St. Kitts, the persons living with disability over on St. Kitts, they're having a social gathering today, for the want of a better word. They'll be in the Basti area, just around opposite to the Ram supermarket, KFC area, that in the roundabout to go up across on Port Zante. They'll be there from 11 o'clock this morning, and so I want to take this opportunity to alert the listening public and go on out and support the folks there on St. Kitts that are living with disability, and patronize. I understand that there will be tasty cooking, tasty barbecues and ribs and fish and the works, and they'll be, like I said, there from 11 this morning, until, well, I guess the last dish would have been sold. So we want the folks there on St. Kitts to take note of that. Let me say good morning to Quanny while I'm on St. Kitts, and Mr. Anthony Mills, good morning to you. Mr. Bowen, how are you, Sharon? Vincenzo.
Well, I know Mary Nurse and Anthony Mills, I think his name is.
Yeah, Anthony Mills. He's the PRO, former president of the SKNAPD.
Very passionate gentleman.
Yeah.
And so, they're doing their thing there, and I'm just hoping and longing for that day when we are here on Nevis, would be able to, invite our brothers and sisters over, and we have.
Well, invitation is open, Bernard.
So we just look forward to that day. But before all of that, like I said, we're here, and I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited that we are launching out. We're launching out on Monday, and we just want to again reiterate and encourage the general public on Nevis, because what we're doing it for everybody.
Yes,
everybody.
Yeah, that's all.
Good morning, you're on 2020 Vision. Yes?
Give Bonnell the phone. Bonnell?
Yes.
He can hear you.
Good
Go
morning.
ahead.
Yeah, you can hear my voice?
Yes, he can hear
Yes,
you.
Mr. Tweed. Kashrai.
Your cousin, not only Mr. Tweed, but your cousin.
Kashrai, good morning.
All right, my respect.
Okay. Yeah, and Kashrai is a very passionate farmer. He's into the farming, and he's passionate in pushing food security in the Federation.
It's wonderful.
Okay, but let me get back to the Facebook feed, right? So Michelle Brathwaite, she's principal of the School for the Deaf in Grenada. And anybody who wants to learn sign language, you could do it online or in person, right? She's very passionate about helping people to communicate with the deaf community. So Michelle Brathwaite, we have you flagged that we might need to engage your services somewhere down the road. Good morning to Gwen Williams and Cyril and Stapleton as well.
Of course.
The SKNAPD Facebook page have logged on to the feed as well. So, okay, back to regular conversation.
Well, we're just engaging and letting our people know that we are with them and that we appreciate their presence, their participation in terms of listening, and if they'd like to interact with us, of course, they're welcome. Good morning to our colleagues here on Nevis. Good morning, Dennis. Haven't seen you for a little while. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Miss Thompson over there in Newcastle. I'm always forgetting her first name. But help me.
Newcastle, Olivia.
Olivia, good morning.
Yeah.
And she's going to get me because she says she's my family, so I should remember her name always.
Yeah.
And good morning, Beryl.
Morning, Beryl.
And of course, we can't forget our chairman, Mr. Lafton.
Right, Mr. Lafton, Pemberton. Seem to have not been doing too well over the last couple of days. I understand he had a little mishap, but I hope that you're recovering, sir, and getting back to normalcy.
And we can't forget the link for last year, Lavinia and Zari.
Right, Lavinia, Zari, Pastor Sandra, good morning to y'all. Thank you for your contribution in laying the foundation. Yes.
During the crisis in the group, they came forward and they organized the camp and other activities.
And we appreciate
keep the club relevant in the community. So they have, nothing left, but they have moved on to other projects to come back later.
Yes.
But
and it's important because they were part of laying the foundation, and that's the most important part, right?
And before that, I mean, the Lawrence's Keith and Sue.
Yes.
And Charles.
I had a chat
Wharton.
with Keith a couple of weeks ago, and I think I saw Charles recently. Good morning to you all.
Yeah.
Charles, for one, says he keeps up and listens and is always interested in whatever CBI is doing going forward. And so we thank you.
I mean, quite a few people have passed through and seen the vision, but of course, those of us who remain have the duty to keep things together.
pushing.
People will come and go.
Keep it going.
People will come and go, but I mean, we got to have
Keep pushing,
have a solid core that will keep the vision going and then get things organized. And when we get established, consolidated, then become sustainable. And you just almost at that point now with the permission to use the community centers Monday to Friday, and now we have worked out some logistics in our mind and begin to put things in place.
Say good morning to
recruiting
people like
volunteers.
Michelle Freeman, who has also made her contribution. Good morning to Esther Brooks. Good morning to all those of you. You know who you are. You've passed through. You've made your contribution. Shown your interest, and we want to let you know that we appreciate and that our doors still remain open.
Yes, and so I mean, I feel so very upbeat after our meeting this week, and the event as those students came into the office this week to volunteer for the summer. Bring a new buzz and new energy.
Yes, a burst of energy, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
I understand.
When you're forgetting worn and weary, and then the young people come around and they're keen to learn. It energizes you, right? I see. I Neil say Labor saying good morning team, just waking up. Good
morning, Mrs. Labor. It is always good to know that you're listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Thank you also for your interaction. You always have an encouraging word for us, and we appreciate it. We want you to know that.
Yes, I mean, we are very hopeful for the coming days, weeks, for the summer with those students around, that we could have a good start to the center program, and even after the summer is gone, it will be a program that will be going on through the year, so they can come and volunteer again
anytime
during the vacation or the weekend or whenever.
Paulette, get ready.
The group having an event.
Get ready, Paulette. Our time is going quickly, and we want to leave our listeners with something to chew on today.
Okay. I'm still kooky.
Okay, yeah.
So kindly excuse my voice.
I think Gwen, before you go on, Gwen says, Gwen
Williams. Good morning,
yes,
Gwen.
She's asking that you give Paulette a break and help her to get the crop out.
Get the frog out of voice.
Frog out of her voice. Yes.
Oh, the phone rang.
Put it back with you, Paulette. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing is nicer than having someone who appreciates you in the small things, accepts you in accepts you in times of hardships, comforts you when you're troubled, love you no matter what, and is simply happy for having you in their life. Doesn't matter what you're going through in life, it's wonderful to have somebody who are persons who will be there for you, who will embrace you and help you to the rough times in your life. So I know there are some persons who may not have this privilege, and I pray this morning that God will send somebody who will be able to step into that space and hold you and help you to find your balance again. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
So everybody needs somebody to be.
Everybody needs
to lend a
somebody.
helping hand,
Sometimes I wish that all of us would understand that, Dr. Labor. Sometimes we go about our lives as if, we are in control, and we need no one next to us. We don't need anyone to help us. We can manage and everything like that. But, at some point in life, I believe that is how God created us, to be there for each other, right? And that is why very, very early it was communicated to man that you're your brother's keeper, right? So we have to do our best to reach out to each other in one way or the other.
Yes, and a lot
Now,
of times.
Paulette, there's a wow to your what you just heard from Nelsie Liber. She should love that, Paulette.
Wow. Okay, I say wow, Mrs. Lyward. Thank you.
And sometimes it's pride in some of us. We think we're self-efficient, and you don't want anybody in your space. But sometimes you just have to let your guard down and allow somebody to hold your hands, because just that touch makes such a big difference, and you don't feel all alone anymore.
I've heard a lot of people say, and I hope they don't mean, I hope they mean well, but I've heard a lot of people say, I like my own company. And there's nothing wrong with that, really. But, we ought not to put ourselves in a position where we send out the wrong message that, you don't need anybody, because all of us need somebody at some time, right? Bonel?
Yes, that is so true. I mean, no man is an island.
And
No
I
man is
have
an
this
island.
friend.
Well, some even islands get connected.
Yeah, I have this friend, and she's in the States, but for some reason, I was in that position at saying that I like my own company, and I was like that. I felt that if you don't expect anything from anybody, then you won't be disappointed, right? And so I would go to my way to do this and do that, and for myself. And she will always, at some point or the other, she will call me and message me and say, Paulette, no man is an island. And I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? I'm like, why this woman disturbing me, But I realized that, it's a good thing, not to try to be by yourself all the time. We need each other. We were made that way. And as the word of God says, we are to be each other's keeper.
Well, I don't know how much longer this concept of no man in his island going to stay around, because as far as I know, all the islands are trying to support each other. You hear different governments having meetings. Dr. Iwood is talking about networking. You hear different. They have CARICOM, they have the OACS, they have OAS, they have what do you call that? United Nations, they have CAFA, they have WHO. All these organizations, different people, leaders coming together, recognizing, hey, if I have your idea and my idea come together, we can do much better, right, Dr. Iwood?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about partnerships and collaboration in this day and age. And and the world is strong through technology. I mean, you could get from Nevis to Japan within 48 hours, depending on how the flights will go. And communication is instant. You know what's happening.
Or a click of a button.
In real time, what's happening across the world. I mean, look at the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. I mean, everybody's watching these things in real time as the events unfold. And so. I mean, we're not isolated anymore. We got to understand that we got to support our colleagues wherever they are. And
there's a lot of bad going around, Dr. Lyon. We need to cover or erase that with more good, right?
Yeah, but communication technology, I mean, people are aware and people are rising up, and I said the good will always overpower the evil.
I mean, it's flooding the media right now that the president of Russia has gone to North Korea, and they're up to no good. They're collaborating, two world leaders, and they're up to no good, right? So those of us who have good intentions ought to reciprocate and come together.
Yeah, so but open communication, honest, transparent communication is the key to allay doubts and fears. I mean, people become suspicious when they don't understand what's going on or what you're up to. And if you have a neighborly relationship, then there should be a level of, honesty and transparency in communication, accountability. And have a common framework of engagement, so that if anybody trespasses or overstep, then there's a way of recovering and remediation and so on. But when somebody uses their brute size or force to break the rules, then it spoils the whole thing, and that's what happened with some of these big nations.
Feel like they're untouchable.
Yeah, they have the might and the power, and they could bulldoze and
people,
bulldoze and bomb,
And unfortunately, Dr. Liebert, even people in our own community does that. And to me, it's somebody who they have some sort of fear inside of them, but they don't want you to know. So therefore they start attacking and saying things that would make you feel like you can't cross this line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
And
might is not always right, you know, and some that little child who you've been brutalizing will grow up one day,
Mm-hmm.
and you will get old and weak, and
Oh,
then they
yes.
will come back and,
Mhm.
and you know.
That is
take
true.
it
We
out,
don't
yeah.
we don't look at it this way,
Yeah.
but you have to look at the big picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I would encourage us to be nice to each other, because we don't know when our turn will come, and we don't know if we'll be able to handle it. And usually is that person who you put your foot on, that's the person who come to give you a hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, these are lessons in life, you know, that
Mhm.
we must not ignore. And nature teaches us that, you
Yes.
know, that if a study win, you could read the world win. you know.
Whirlwind, yes.
So we gotta
My
be
mother
careful-
always said that.
Careful what, you know, what seeds
Mhm.
we
You
plant.
sow,
Seeds
yes.
we plant.
You know.
Mhm.
And I was saying to somebody the other day, and a lot of times we plant seeds and we're not the ones who reap it, but the children down the road.
Yeah.
And you say, but this person has been a really nice person all the time, and they don't understand why these things happening in my life had nothing to do with them. It was somebody else. But now it's come to be a fruit in your
Yeah.
life. So let's be careful.
I say
So
the-
good seeds, everybody. That's a song we used to sing in Sunday school, Dr. Liban.
Yeah, I say the
So
same
good
of the
seeds.
parents will fall on the, and the next generation to
Mhm.
up to the seventh generation and beyond. So,
Yes.
yeah, so you got to be careful.
So Sibia Nevis chapter, we're endeavoring to do good, endeavoring to lift ourselves, endeavoring to pull up our own bootstraps, and endeavoring to pull our socks up, and reaching out a hand to anyone that would needs help to either help you pull your socks up or at least show you how to pull it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and this morning I was helping Bernard up the stairs. He getting better and better at
Oh,
it, you
yes.
know. Yeah, he getting better and better at it, you know. So
Yeah, I really
Muscles
admire
growing.
Bernard's strong will, you know.
yeah,
Well, he took me to what you call the place, the Heritage Village over in Gingerland. So
yeah,
that's testimony of his will, testimony of his Barack Obama attitude.
and he will.
Yes,
take,
we can.
And he will take it to cotton going on
current
Monday, God
time
willing.
is
Oh well, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So together, everyone achieves more, huh?
exactly.
We work
Yeah,
together.
I had a conversation a couple of days ago with a lady from Think It's who is an amputee, and you know, I always try to inspire people. I mean, when I finished with her, she's like, I'm in awe. I said, yes. I mean, it's somebody who know you very well, Wenford, and I was explaining. She said, yes, I know him, and I said,
She knows my name.
she knows you, Wenford.
She knows my name, Bernard.
Okay, lay steady. You know anybody by the name of Miss Cabo?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't ask me if I know them.
No,
You
no,
said
no, no,
they
no,
know
no, no.
me.
I'm telling you, the person knows you.
Okay.
Whether you knows them or not, the person knows you.
What's the first name?
Scarborough from Nevis?
No, she's. I forget the first name, but she used to work at the Marriott. She drive taxi and stuff
Effie.
like that. Yes. Okay. Good. She goes. She was a member of the Wesleyan Holiness Church, so that's why I told you that she knows you. Okay. So, you know, I shared my video. She was like, she said she was like in awe. I told
I
her.
hope she didn't call my name, you know.
I told her that I go to the radio station on a Friday. So I said, is that hoping that your count is right, 18 flights of steps. And she said, how will you do it? I said, well, God always provided Daniel. And my Daniel to help me to do it is Dr. Libod. And, you know, we do it and together. We do it, I mean, just like we did on the walk.
Effie has come over here to Nevis to different events and so on, funerals and things like that. I'm hoping that the powers that we will soon install the lift here at the TDC, they call it TDC Town Plaza, so that, you know, persons like Effie can be accommodated and we can have her right here in the studio with us. So we're looking forward to interventions like those.
Well, let's just keep praying. That's all, you know. Nothing. Somebody sent me a song, and it's one of my favorite songs. You know, one thing in life, one thing is for certain: God answers prayers. I mean, somebody might promise you $1 million. They might as well as they might not. They might promise you a new car, a house, a piece of land, you know, a vehicle. But one thing is for certain: God answered prayer. And so we got to continue to pray. I mean, keep pushing.
Have faith.
Have faith. And I mean, sometimes I sometimes, you know, look back and I said, my God, I mean, this morning I shared with ZIZ. I mean, God is just so good. I mean, sometimes I wonder if we really take God at His promise. The songwriter reminds us, he says, what a friend we have in Jesus. What is the next word in the line after that?
All our sins and griefs to bear.
All. And sometimes we need to just grasp it. I mean, you might not have it now, but I'm telling you, I'm a testimony that God answers prayer. Yeah,
It's coming. It's coming.
it's coming. I mean, I sometimes you this human side of you kicks in, and you're like, why? But then when you let the dust settle, one thing is for certain: God answers prayer.
Yes, if you
Sometimes-
believe it, you can achieve it.
He answers prayer.
Yes. And sometimes, you know, we ask for certain things. But personally, we're not ready.
No.
So, in between your asking and the delivery time, God is working on you. You understand? He's still working. He is preparing you for the gift. Because sometimes we may get something that ends up destroying us because you're not prepared for it. So in that time, we grow. We don't see it like that. We just being anxious and angry, and
That's why I said that's when the human side kicks in.
yes,
You know, I want it now. Give
You
me.
want it
I'm ready for it. Yeah.
one time somebody were talking about I think it was a Steve Harvey. I happened to be turning on the TV, and he talked about the old car in the garage while you're waiting for the new one. And he said, take the old car out. You can't put the new car in there
There's no space for the new car if
because
the
the
old one's in
space
there.
is there. Take it out. And I was like, wow. And it stayed with me all these years.
Yes, I mean, I was listening to a little documentary there yesterday, and it says he was in phases. The rich man looked out of his establishment and he saw a beggar, and he was saying, thank God, I'm not a beggar. The beggar stood his ground and he saw a naked person. He says, thank God, I'm not naked. The naked man realized in his space that the ambulance picked up somebody and took them to the hospital. He said, thank God, I'm not sick. And while he was at the hospital, the funeral home, the undertaker came and was taking away somebody else to the morgue. And
The sick man.
the sick man says, thank God, I'm alive.
Yes.
And we need to sometimes just pause.
All of us have something to be thankful for.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
You know, just pause. Just pause.
All right, Dr. Lowell, you seem very quiet. I know your heart is full.
Yeah,
What
well,
say you? We're running out of time.
Yes, I have to let you guys get your play. You know, and this is all part of the empowerment, you know, to provide a platform that, you know, I mean, Bernal can come back into the studio. You can continue when you've been the link in this 2020 Vision Radio, and there are many out there who have a story to tell, and we want to get them onto these platforms eventually, you know, to tell the story of how they have triumphed over adversity, you know. But it takes some capacity building to get comfortable, and during these small group meetings, people get to learn to speak up and to share, their testimony so that they could come to the bigger stage eventually. And that's why we're looking forward to having the center up and running, where we can begin to bring people out of the lockdown spaces and in the community environment where they begin to feel loved and appreciated and begin to share in small ways and bigger ways eventually.
You know, Dr. Lawad, I'm forever grateful to many persons who have helped me to where I am today, you know. Yeah. And speaking of encouraging people to just take one step forward, is very important. You know, sometimes we take things and people for granted. You just you'd be surprised to know how impactful one little encouraging word could be. Because I remember I was, you know, as a teenager, going out just fooling around with, well, of course, thankfully I was born into a family of musicians, right? And so, you know, I was always interested in anything that made sound, whether it be a radio or amplifier or anything that makes sound, you know. I was always playing around with gadgets, guitars, keyboards, everything, right? And I remember some time ago I was involved in a function that my church was having, and a gentleman who is now deceased walked up to me and said, you know, one of these days you're going to be a radio announcer. I said, you got to be a crazy man. You know. And I made it my business when on the first day that I was employed at the radio station, I called him. I made sure I let him know, you know, that his dream has finally come true. And for most of my adult life, I've been in broadcasting, and I thank God for the inspiration, thank him for the ability, thank him for the talent, the blessing and everything. But it's because somebody
spoke into your life.
Somebody, you know, looked at me, little insignificant me, who thought that I was just there fooling around and nobody was seeing me, and you know, somebody encouraged me and said, listen, one of these days you are going to be big. Right? So it's incumbent on all of us to seek out our little opportunities and encourage somebody to push. You can do it. You can make it. Here's Bernal saying, yes, we can. Yes, I can. He's upstairs, 18 flights of steps. Yeah. Right? On the second floor. Right? Who knows? If we had a fourth floor, he might have been on the top floor too.
Oh yeah. Trust me. He would have been right there.
Yes. And yeah. he keeps saying to me, Ren, you need to get the studio on the ground floor where I could just roll in. But, you know, I haven't gotten access to a ground floor, but he's still here.
That's right.
And so, you know, I want to encourage you, Bonnell, to continue with this attitude. Yes, I can, and to encourage others and those of you who are listening out there, yes, you can. If you can think it, Bonnell, finish it.
If you can think it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Good morning, Lafton. I think he's the one who coined that quotation.
That phrase, yeah. Mm-hmm. But this is what we all aiming for at CBR, to encourage, you know, those of you who are less fortunate, and those of you, I mean, I don't think it is anything wrong, humanly speaking.
It's not about being less fortunate, Bernal. It's about recognizing who you are, where you are, what you got, right? And using it. You know the conversation we had. You know, accepting what you have, use what you got. And what did God say to Moses? What is that you have in your hand? It was just a simple piece of stick. They called a rod, right?
Yep.
And he achieved exploits. He did exploits.
Okay, folks, I know the conversation has been great this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I say good morning to Steve Mills.
Morning, Steve.
Say good morning, all well done. So we have to begin to wind up and wind down and move out of this space before we get kicked out by the
Dr. Larry.
programming. So
conversation is always great, especially when you are around, and we thank you very much for your inspiration.
So thank you all once again listening, and all who logged on to the Facebook Live and who will follow the review in the replay.
And to our 2020 Vision radio listeners, well, I'm going to be with you until about 2:30 today. We got cricket at 10:30 today, so I'll be ensuring that coverage comes through loud and clear. But we got the news coming up next here on 2020 Vision. CBR, cleaning out for today. We'll see you next Friday, God's willing, at 6:30.
Services and 2020 Vision Radio presents Out of the Shadows and Into the Light with host Dr. Glenville E. Liebert and special guests. Join us every Friday at 7 a.m. as we promote awareness of disability issues to affect policy and social change for the better. Be a part of the conversation by calling 1-869-469-7953 or 1-869-765-7312. You can also WhatsApp call 1-869-669-7312. And don't forget our Magic Jack number 917-460-2187. Every Friday at 7 a.m. we bring you out of the shadows and into the light. Sponsored by Eureka Health Services in collaboration with 2020 Vision Radio.
Are you concerned about your health? Come on, everyone should be. The old people say that who don't pay a doctor will pay a pastor, or someone will for you. So before it reaches to that stage, come on in and visit Eureka Health Services in Ramsbury. Dr. Liebert and his associates at Eureka will take excellent care of you. They are friendly, experienced, and professional. So call them at 1-869-469-0521 or 1-869-662-5187. And for more information, just visit their website at www.eurekahealthservices.com. At Eureka Health Services, patients are our number one priority.
Then we are over and out. Have a good day for everyone.
Do you know what